off, and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on, and he missed the complete that. He's crazy.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Presented by Christian Family Construction, we come to you from South Boston Speedway. Now, the casual race fan, this might bring to mind Clam Chowder, Paul Revere, and Tom Brady. But no, South Sobo is actually in Virginia, where the drivers of the Outlaw Modified Series gather to compete in the appropriately named Outlaw 100 at South Boston Speedway. And all the short track action can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. From Old Dominion, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. On tap tonight, it's round 9 of 11 on the Outlaw Modified Series 2017 fall schedule. Sitting in for Sean Ambrose way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view is yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined by BRL regular commentator Never Say Die, Dawson Brock. Like crackers, Joe Peak is on assignment, so turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is tonight's director, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. Now, as always, this Bootleg Racing League sanctioned event is brought to you thanks to the good folks at Christian Family Construction Services in the state of Connecticut. They're a complete excavation service for new homes and additions. They can help you with a multitude of projects such as land clearing, site preparation, stumping, palm reading, cellar holes, drainage system, grading for gravel and stone driveways, spinal alignment, septic system insulation, pump system, test holes, leach fields. The list goes on and on. They're licensed and insured. Contact them by phone at 860-428-5995. And remember, if you need someone who's multi-purposed, Christian Family Construction Service. Okay, now that the bills have been paid, let's get down to business. In round 8, last time out at Southern National, 14 drivers took the grid, led for the first half of the race by Lowell Jewell. Tim Shanowski, who you see on screen right now, started in 9th, broke into the top 5 by lap 9, was 3rd by lap 29, got to 2nd soon after that, where he chased Jewell for 4 laps until making the pass for the lead on lap 51, and he held it all the way to the end, his 4th win of the season. His brother Matt came into the race as the point leader, but found misfortune to end up in the Hamilton spot, losing the point lead, but earning pole position for tonight's affair. So we turn our attention to what is coming up, and that is 100 laps here at South Boston. Let me reintroduce Dawson Brock to tell you about tonight's venue.
Well, Soup, a mecca for Southern Virginia's short track racing, South Boston Speedway today bills itself as America's hometown track. It was originally a quarter-mile dirt track when it opened its gates back in 1957. Its current paved configuration is 0.4 of a mile and has 45 foot-wide turns. This helps passing and keeps racing very close. While many of Sobo's racing consists of late models, the modifieds hold the current track record at an average speed of 99.9 miles per hour. Tonight we will see the BRL guys take their SK modifieds around this historic track. Let's take a closer look at what it's like to drive one around South Boston.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the South Boston Speedway, the GSRC Modified. Down low off of turn 4, bringing it right up to the fence across the line for our lap number 1, driving it real deep into the corner. Turn 1 and 2 is a little unique here at South Boston. We use the left side tires, grabbing the apron down there, down here into 3, driving it in deep again, kind of let it float to the middle, then back down off, straight off of the corner. Up onto the front stretch again, down into turn 1, driving in just a little deeper. Let it roll through the middle here. Use the apron to grab some traction with the left side tires. Down into turn 3 one more time. Maybe take a little higher entry to try to get a straighter drive off. Off of turn 4, down the front stretch and across the line. And that's going to complete our very fast track guide here around South Boston. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
There's a lap around South Boston here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Now, this is the part in the broadcast where we usually talk to one of the drivers, and we don't have anything prearranged, but I think we're going to try to bring in a rookie here, Kenny Kibbe, who made his series debut last time out. Kenny, do you have a copy here on the Global Sim Racing channel?
I got you loud and clear.
Hey, well done on your first. How was your first race experience last time?
Well, I mean, aside from being airborne once, I think it went pretty well. I finished in the top half and made all the laps in the end, and I got into a few scuffles here and there, but I thought it was a pretty good debut.
Have you been racing earlier on today in the other events?
I ran the street stocks earlier, finished fifth. I started sixth. There's no cautions in that race, surprisingly, but it was a solid race.
100 laps a day in the Outlaw Modifieds. What do you think tires? Is this South Boston with rubber? Does it wear out, or is it kind to the tires?
I don't think it's very kind to the tires. If it's going to be anything like the street stocks were, with about 10, 20 laps to go in that race, the tires were just gone. And if I have to really make up some ground and really have to use up my stuff early on, the tires are going to be gone by the end of the race. But if I can stay up near the front and not have to use them up in the first half, then I might have something at the end.
All right, since you were kind enough to come in and talk with us, Dawson and I will keep an eye on you, watch your progress throughout the race. Save your stuff to the end. Have a little bit left when it's time to go racing.
Thanks.
There you have it. A new driver, Kenny Kibbe, made his debut race last time out. Good to see him back for a second round. Okay, with that done, let's go ahead and talk now about what's coming up. Let's go ahead and look at where are we going? We're going to go down to the point standings here. So we'll bring Dawson in to tell us about how things are standing after 8 rounds in the books.
Well, right now, the man on top, Donnie Moore, sits in first place. Tim Shinatsky, with his win last week, also moved up into second place, now just 3 points back from the point leader. Matt Shinatsky, as we talked earlier, he didn't have the greatest race, but he's still not out of it. He's down in third, 7 points back from Donnie. Then you go to fourth and fifth, Mike Holloway and Brian Dean. Couple races left. They're going to hope to maybe get a win or two here and there and get back into this race.
Again, I say it every time I do one of these broadcasts when we have Mike Holloway with us. You never know what you're going to get with Mike. Sometimes he is up there running with the guys up front. Sometimes he seems to have no clue about how to get the car around the track. We'll see how that plays out today. Sitting fifth in points, 25 out. Probably too far to really make a legitimate threat at the championship. Really down to a 3-man race now between veteran Donnie Moore and then the Shinatsky brothers. Let's go ahead now for new viewers just stopping in for the first time. They might want to know what the heck is going on here. What's the details? How long do they go? What are the rules? So Dawson, tell the new guys who haven't been paying attention what this is all about.
Well, basically every Saturday night, these guys come out and they run 100 laps. No matter what the track, they have a set in stone, 100 laps. Now, they take the top 10 from last week's results and they invert it. So you finish first, you get to start all the way back in 10th. So if you have a bad race, maybe you slot into that 10th position, you get to start on the pole next week. No scheduled pit stops. You're not allowed to change tires or anything like that. You do get one quick repair, so if you end up messing up your car a little bit early on, you get another chance to make it happen. But after 100 laps of short track racing, you want to make sure you can keep that in your pocket as long as you can.
And that regrid rule is really what makes this series kind of special. It takes a series that would be 11 little novellas that you would read, and each one being independent, into a legitimate novel with 11 chapters, with the end of each chapter being the cliffhanger for the chapter that is going to follow. What happened last round matters in what happens today, and that's kind of cool. You know, I talked to our interview, when we talked to Kenny Kibbe, I asked him if he has been racing earlier today. For new viewers, again, they might be kind of confused. 2 hours before every one of these events, the Bootleg Racing League it's not broadcast, but they have the Street Sox series that is up there. You heard Kenny saying that's what he raced in. And then at 1 hour before the race, it's the limited late model series, and that's open to all D drivers as well as the Street Sox. So that's what goes on. Those are little 60-lap races, and then they all show up. Most of them do. They come in here for the broadcast race that we like to bring you here on the Global Sim Racing channel. These Outlaw Modifieds. These They're not open wheelers. I've classified them as fenderless because they really should have fenders, but they're gone. So that talks about that. I think we're ready to go now. There is no qualifying. Let's take a look at some of the practice times that are going out there right now, give you an idea of what we're looking at. And Dawson, look at this guy who's come in late. Charles Lahr. We saw him be impressive last time. He is really fast again, sitting up there now in the fastest of all the practicers.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, we've seen a couple new guys come in here, and every time it seems like they've had really great drivers. You know, Charles Lahr, we saw Stefan Alphonse, he's right now sitting in third. So all these guys doing a great job, and I think Lars might be one to watch for tonight.
Stefan Alphonse, of course, from the land of Mozart, the Austrian driver, coming over to race with us. Not many drivers doing that, making the jump from across the pond. Again, we see Mike Holloway there sitting there in fourth position. Lucas Stinziano, Dustin Powers. How about this? Donnie Moore sitting seventh in practice. Now remember, this has no relationship to where they will grid up, as that is predetermined by the results from the previous round. There we got Jamba Juice down there in the number 11 car, J.J. Garrett. Nice to see him with us. Putting in a lap time of 14.7. 16 drivers' names have shown up here. Lowell Jewell, driver number 16 in the number 5 machine, yet to put in qualifying time. But his spot, again, will be predetermined by where he finished last round. Dawson, is this a typical keep to the low side, make him pass you up on top kind of short track?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think this track with its banking maybe creates a little bit more of a two-sided battle, but I don't think it's very much. I think what drivers are going to have to look for is, if you want to get that pass, you're going to have to start that in the corner before. You got to get a great run, and you're going to try to drop down on these short, I think it's 360 feet long back stretches. So you got to make sure you make your passes, get that run up, and get to the inside before the corner happens.
One of the very important aspects to this race will be what I call the eeny-meeny rule, and that is if the yellow flag comes out, they are double file restarts, and you want to make sure, if possible, that you are on an odd number when that yellow flag falls. Probably, a lot of times drivers would rather start on the inside of row 2 than on the outside of row 1. You get yourself hung up there. If those drivers on the inside play tough, you can see yourself fall back several positions before a door opens up to you pull back down into the inside. We're looking there at Kenny Kibbe. Should have asked him if I had the pronunciation of his name right. Let's assume that he would have corrected me if I had it wrong. My Lebanese background, if you want to go ahead and Google Kibbe, it's a wonderful raw lamb dish, by the way. Check that one out. Now looking at Brian Dean. Brian Dean is our second fastest practicer right now, putting in a 14.5. Let's go ahead and look at these practice times. Charles Lahr, 14.5 is your fastest practicer. Slowest practicer down there, Lowell Jewell, but that one really doesn't count at 15.1. How about a 14.7 for Kenny Kibbe? So about 0.2 of a second separating the top 15 drivers. Dawson, our grids get a little bigger. We're up to 16 now.
You know, that's always good to see. I mean, you come in and now you might get 10 cars who finish, and it's not I wreck out. You wreck out now, you might sit outside that top 10, and that's a big thing going into next week.
And again, you saw in the details, there is one fast repair, and you heard Kenny Kibbe talk about it. He had his car upside down, but he was able to really help himself. As we go through here now, 16 cars, let's go ahead and run down your starting grid in the order that they finished last time. Remember, the top 10 will be inverted from last time, and there he is. We expected him. He finished in the Hamilton spot. Last time out at Southern National, it's Matt Shanowski on the pole. Inside, of the Austrian driver Stefan Alphonse. Row 2 is going to be made up of Kenny Kibbe, our pre-race interval, and Mike Holloway. Looks like this is one of the races where Mike's going to be fast. The veteran Lowell Jewell in his familiar number 5 car sits inside of Jeff Sharp. Row 4 is going to be made up of Brian Dean, flanked by the veteran Donnie Moore, our points leader. Kurt Smith and Dustin Powers make up row 5. Charles Lahr, he was fast in practice, the fastest car in practice. Unfortunately, he finished outside of the top 10 last time. He'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, work his way through the field as he starts in 11. He's inside of Mike Allen. Then we go to John Hines, and it is Jamba Juice, J.J. Garrett in the 14th position. Last row is going to be made up of John Holcomb and Lucas Stinziano. 16 drivers, all of them are out there right now. Let's make sure that Holcomb is out there. Stinziano yet to take the grid, so maybe only 15 are going to go up. 100 laps scheduled to go. The pace car will go around one more time, and then we'll get this underway. Dawson, I know you're having some technical issues, but what do you think? How about a nice green to green this time? What do you say?
Yeah, that sounds like, and we talked earlier, he said that the previous races were pretty clean, so maybe we'll see that translate to this race.
The number 13 car of Stefan Alphonse on the top side. He wants to get down the double lock machine. Uh-oh, it is Matt Shanowski on the pole. The pace car peels. So does the roar of the engines. Chug-a-luck, makes you want to holler, hi-de-ho. Matt Shanowski leads the field into corner number 1. Alphonse drops into second. Holloway in third. Kibbe holding the inside. Jeff Sharp in the 73 machine stuck on top. The real battle is back there for 4th position with Kibbe and Sharp. And then it is Lowell Jewell on the inside with Donnie Moore in his familiar number 26 machine trying to find his way around the top. Bumping and banging going on. Up front, it is 1, 2, 3. They race comfortably. In the back, they are still trying to fight it out, and it is 2 by 2 by 2. Now they sort out. Lowell Jewell looking to dive to the inside as he races in 5th position. How about a great job from newcomer Kenny Kibbe in that 14 machine. Hanging on to 14th position. Bumping and banging continues. Back a little bit farther in 6th. On the top side, it's Jeff Sharp. On the low side, Brian Dean. And now we have Charles Lahr made a mistake. Oh, he got into it with the 25 of Dustin Powers. Lahr is around and he pinwheels. He's going to have to take the tow, and we'll watch it on the replay. Ooh, got some altitude was the number 4 machine. Let's ride on board with the number 25 machine of Dustin Powers, see what it looked like from his perspective. Dustin on the outside, just kind of mind his own business. Does he come down? I don't think so, really. They don't want to go too much farther out to the wall, so they get together. That's the bad news for Charles Lahr. Good news is he can take a tow, get a fast repair. He may fall more than 1 or 2 laps down, but don't worry, there is the lucky dog in this series. And if we get enough yellow flags, and there are enough cars not falling a lap down, look for Charles Lahr to get back in the hunt.
We saw him put down some pretty good lap times in practice, so I think if he can get back on that lead lap with that quick repair, he should be fine. So if you're a Charles Lahr fan, don't worry too much yet.
So it's Matt Shanowski out in front in the 00. Now this is the point that we were trying to make, Dawson, about the eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Are you on an odd or an even spot? Well, this is bad news for Stefan Alphonse. He's going to start again from the outside. Mike Holloway in 3rd position. Kibbe in 4th. Not a lot of movement going on as I search through to see who is our big mover. How about John Holcomb? He is up into the Hamilton spot. Started in 15th, now racing in 10th. Unfortunately, he'll be on the outside. They start to bunch up now. I'm going to continue to talk a little more than normal as Dawson is still dealing with some technical issues. He's going to pipe in whenever he can. But right now, all the eyes are on Matt Shanowski in the 00. He gets a great jump. Uh-oh, it's Alphonse has trouble. He did not get the jump that he wanted, and that's going to open the door. Possibilities now for Mike Holloway in the 13 machine to get underneath him. It's the let me phrase that. It's the 13 and the 31 until they go to the backside where it's the 31 against the 13. Right now, it is Alphonse who gets the best position in there. He moves into second. Holloway back to third. Lowell Jewell and Jeff Sharp, fourth and fifth. 2x2 behind them. Stuck on the top side, trying to find his way down in there is Kenny Kibbe. Not going to happen. Donnie Moore trying to keep that inside line. The racing is clean. Kibbe really the only driver that's stuck on the top side right now. He's all alone up top. Is there room for him to duck in? No. He's going to try to get a little momentum, make the top side work. Look at the drive he gets off. This battle continues between Moore and Kibbe. Kibbe doing a great run as they come out of 4. How long can he make it go? You know, he talked about it in the pre-race interview about maybe using up his stuff. I wonder if that's what he's doing up there. If this is going to come back to haunt him later. Look, boy, he is weaving back and forth. The 14 really putting on a show on the top side. It looks like he's lost that position to Moore now because now he's got Brian Dean to deal with. Still a great run from Kibbe in the 14. Nothing going on up front. They race single file. And again, you won't see a driver pull away. Matt Shanowski out in front. No reason for him to open up a big lead if he doesn't need to, because a yellow flag brings it all back, and that means that all the rubber he's burned to open up a big lead is wasted. Oh, there is some bumping and banging going on for second, and sure enough, Mike Holloway got into the back of Stefan Alphonse. That woed him up, and that's opened the door for Lowell Jewell in the 5. But Joel could not capitalize and get down to the inside. He'll have to settle to drop back into 4th. Jeff Sharp following him. Oh, getting loose behind is Donnie Moore. And that means that another car got into him. That was Brian Dean. Moore got loose. Dean had to check up. We do not go to yellow, but we'll get the replay. Watch Johnny Moore get loose in the 26. Dean has nowhere to go, and he pays the price. He gets part of the wall. He drops back now into 12th. We stay under green. Who's our hard charger so far? We got to look at him. He's in the number 69 machine. I like that car because it's the same number on both sides of the straightaway. It is, of course, I'm talking about John Holcomb. Holcomb racing at 8th, started at 15th. How's he doing it? Well, a couple guys have gotten out of the way, but right now he's got Kenny Kibbe to work on. Look at Jamba Juice underneath Juice. Oh, JJ gets him, turns him around. Holcomb pays the price. The number 6 of Kurt Smith just avoids him. The juggling Joker got into Holcomb. Holcomb went for a spin. Right on board with JJ Garrett. Now we'll go from above. All right, you be the judge at home. You give out the penalty. He dives underneath. He tried to make it stick. Did he drift up? Did he get up into Holcomb? I think you talked to Mrs. Holcomb. She would say somebody turned her husband. We can report that Charles Lahr, remember he was fast in practice, was doing so well, had that early incident. He decided not to come back out. Looks like John Hine and Lucas Stinziano never took the grid. So 13 drivers racing right now, the last one being John Holcomb, who's going to come in, get some work done as we serve our second yellow. About a quarter of the way through the race, 23 laps in of 100 on the schedule. Well, let's go to our eeny, meeny, miny, mo situation again. Who wins, who loses? Matt Shanowski, going to stay on the inside. Stefan Alphonse, able to do okay. He's had to start from the outside twice, has really been able to hold that position, so I don't think Alphonse really minds doing that. Mike Holloway, he'll be on the inside of row 2. Lowell Jewell is going to be outside. Jeff Sharp and Donnie Moore now moves up. Donnie Moore outside of row 3, thinking, gee, I'm only 2 rows back from taking the lead here. Where's our point leader? Where is Matt Shanowski? Well, Matt Shanowski's out in front. Where's the brother? Is the brother not here today? Did we miss that? Tim is not here. Oh, that's something we should have covered. Meanwhile, they go green. Well, the sole pride of the Shanowski family right now is Matt, and he's out in front. Up in the wall with Stefan Alphonse, but he keeps the car going straight. The 13 gets a great drive off of 4. We have another caution, and it looks like it was Mike Allen. Oh, Kenny Kibbe drifts up into him. Kibbe in the 14. This is the first time we've seen the 14 down low. And actually, it all might have started from the 11 that got a little bit loose out in front, woed everybody up. Mike Allen pays the price. That 11 was J.J. Garrett, who hit the wall, kind of slowed up. Now, I'm not saying that had really why Kibbe got into Allen, but might have had something to do with it. So this is caution number 3 as we pass the 1/4 mark now. Matt Shanowski out in front. You know, we were remiss in mentioning that Tim did not show up. I just took it for granted that both the Shanowski boys would show up. There are no dropped races in the Christian Family Construction Outlaw Modified Series, so that is going to hurt Tim in the points. Stefan Alphonse still in second. Holloway sharp. Lowell Jewell. We talked about our hard charger. Remember, it was John Holcomb. He had worked his way up, but then he got turned around. He's fallen back now. Still up 3 spots. So let's look for somebody else to give a little shout out to. How about the juggling joker, J.J. Garrett? Qualified in 14th and is now racing in 7th. 7th position means he'll be on the inside of row number 4. Working lap number 29 of 100 now. This is, I believe, our 3rd yellow flag, if I can read my chicken scratches on my clipboard. It is Matt Shanowski. He has been out in front the whole way. Got to give credit to Stefan Alphonse. He's had to start on that second outside position every time. He's able to hold him off. I got to think that maybe Mike Holloway thinks, all right, this is the green. This is the go green time. I'm going to try to jump in there, take that second spot. But then once you're in second, you got to make it pay off. You have to actually get the pass done. Otherwise, you find yourself where Alphonse is right now. Oh, and we are back racing. Here we go. As we work lap number 31, Matt Shanowski out in front. Holloway has moved up to P2. Sure enough, Stefan Alphonse is stuck to the outside. Lowell Jewell now trying to make it work down low. Jewell can't do it. Look at that 13 car. Boy, it really likes to race in that second lane up. He tucks into 3rd position. Jewell has to settle for 4th. Now the 11 car back there. That is our pre-race No, that's J.J. Garrett. He's down on the inside, being challenged by the 73 of Jeff Sharp. Sharp again trying to make the top side work. Not going to get any momentum. More down in 7th, hoping to pick up one more spot. Look at that 73 trying to hang up on the top side. Jeff Sharp trying to keep it going up there. It's a little slower coming in, but he gets a pretty good drive off. And now can he tuck down inside of Moore? He's scared to do it. Moore didn't leave him any more room. The 73 has to keep fighting. There's room now. He has it cleared. Everybody single file of the cars that are racing. All the way back to the last car, the caboose out there, which is Mike Allen. Allen runs in 12th. He is on the lead lap. Dustin Powers has called it a day. He is 4 laps down, or at least he hasn't come out yet. The leaders come around. We have gone through the 1/3 mark. They are racing on lap 36. Now let's go ahead and focus up front for a minute. Let's see what Holloway has. He's worked his way up to the spot he wants to be. He races about half a lane higher than Shanowski. Holloway's got to be hoping that it doesn't go yellow right now. He's worked so hard to find himself in this position. He doesn't want to be stuck on the top side. Let's see what he can do with Shanowski. How were their practice times, you might ask? Well, Shanowski's best time was a 14.6. Holloway, a 14.5. So he's faster. And here he comes as Shanowski hits the wall. And now behind, that is Kibbe. No, I may have misidentified. That was Alphonse, and the 13 car was in the wall. Let's go ahead and look at that again. That was underneath. Lowell Jewell and Stefan Alphonse got together. Did Jewell drift up into him? Did Alphonse squeeze him? Hard to tell from that angle. Let's go on board with the veteran Lowell Jewell in the 5. Oh, this will be great. We look off right over the right front. He's down low. Does he drift up? They just kind of bang a little bit. My dad used to say, you're not driving to the store for a gallon of milk. That's going to happen. We come back live. The 13 is smoking as he brings that car in of Stefan Alphonse. How about Lowell Jewell? How did he fare? Jewell is still out there on track. I don't believe he did come in. He's just lost a few positions. He's fallen back to 9th. Well, we talked about Mike Holloway not wanting to see that yellow. It came. Maybe that's good news. Maybe he says, well, I couldn't get around him anyway. Maybe I can do something if I start even with Matt Shanowski. He'll have to get the jump. Shanowski, a veteran, knows how to get things done. Matt, of course, looking for his first win of the season. He would like to get that win, so he loses that association with Isaac Newton, who died a virgin but never went on to accomplish great things. And Shanowski would like to get this championship. That would be a great accomplishment, but he'd like to do it and get a win if he could. J.J. Garrett now in the 11 car is going to be on the inside of row 2 when we decide to go green. Sharp. How's Donnie Moore doing? Oh, he's picked up another spot. He now finds himself in 5th. Little by little, the points leader working his way through the field. And sure enough, he'll be on the inside. He'll see if he can get to the inside, maybe force Jeff Sharp to stay up top, see if he can get that spot as well. Other hard chargers, well, he's back. He was a hard charger, then he ran into trouble. He's back again. And, of course, I'm talking about the car number 69, John Holcomb. He's up inside, racing in the Hamilton spot now. That's where you want to be, because at least if you can't win, at least you get inside the top 10, you get yourself a favorable regrid for the next time. Haven't quite got to the halfway point yet. 44 laps in the book. You do the math. That would mean 56 left to race. Waiting for that pace car to pull in, and he does. That turns the power over to Matt Shanowski. Holloway doing his very best to get a jump. He doesn't do it. Here comes the 11 of J.J. Garrett. Trying to tuck in there. He can't do it. Holloway veteran spin behind. It's Sharp. Also involved is Moore. Donnie Moore. We talked about that. Donnie Moore wanted that position. He was on the inside. He drifted a little bit high. Got into Sharp, and the 2 cars pinwheeled. Oh, my goodness. Bad news for those 2 drivers. Good news for the viewers is, I believe, Never Say Die Dawson Brock is back. Dawson, how are we doing?
I guess we're there. So
all right.
Did it, but
I missed you.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job, though. I heard it all the way through, so best in the business. I'll tell you that much.
That was a lot of soups, and I hope you all appreciate the lack of cliches that I threw in there. Tried to keep it as pure as possible. Well, what we'll do right now, let us get all of our ducks in a row. We'll take this opportunity to take a short break, make sure everything's working right. We'll come back before they go green. We are currently working lap 47. We'll be back before the halfway mark. Welcome back to the Christian Family Construction Outlaw Modified Series, powered by the Bootleg Racing League. We are under yellow right now, currently working lap number 49. When they come across, we'll be at the halfway mark. It is Matt Shanowski. He's been out in front the whole time. He's got Mike Holloway on the outside of him. Holloway trying to get a good jump here. Shanowski says no way. He's on the gas first. Holloway, though, going to be able to tuck in. J.J. Garrett in the 11 machine in 3rd position, stuck on the top side. Kurt Smith in 4th. Racing in there in that number 6 machine. Oh no, he's lost it. He's in the wall. He's going straight. I don't think that's going to bring out a yellow. That's the worst thing that could have happened to Smith, as he loses all that position and doesn't even get to slow down to do it. He falls all the way back into the Hamilton spot. That is good news, though, for Brian Dean, as Brian Dean actually in this race started 7th. He's now up to 4th. Talk about saving your stuff. You can see coming out of the pits, that's Lowell Jewell coming out right now in the number 5, bringing it back out. He is going to be several laps down. More bumping and banging going on. Let's set the stage for you right now as things have shuffled up a bit. Matt Shanowski, Mike Holloway, J.J. Garrett, Brian Dean, John Holcomb. He is back. There's your top 5. Holcomb really has a car up 10 positions. He made it up. He got spun around. He got a fresh car. He comes back out, and now he's in the top 5 again, looking to move that 69 car up farther. Kenny Kibbe in the 14 has been a little farther back, can't get it going. Mike Allen racing behind them. Jeff Sharp really struggling in the 73. Totally having trouble getting it down. Had to give the position up to Donnie Moore. Dawson, some big names in the back. Donnie Moore in 9th. Lowell Jewell outside of the top 10. Stefan Alphonse,
Yeah,
remember him? He was
the biggest name you've seen there. Yeah, no, Donnie Moore, your points leader. This is big.
Stefan Alphonse racing in 8th position. Remember, he was running in 2nd for the longest time. Things are settling down a little bit now. It's a nice, evenly spaced train all the way around. Best battle on the track, maybe for 2nd position. Mike Holloway being challenged by J.J. Garrett. Holcomb racing in 5th, looking for an opportunity if those 2 cars get in trouble ahead of him. Matt Shanowski looking to go wire to wire, saving his stuff right now. He has a lead. He doesn't need to build it up any more than it is. Comfortable 2-car lengths lead on Mike Holloway. And Dawson, I don't think Matt has had to use up any of this stuff. I think that car is sitting really nice, really poised to make a nice run for these final 40 laps.
That's a big deal. If we get one more restart or something like that, he'll be able to use a little extra tires than everyone else. It's a big card to have sitting in your back pocket.
That's the most difficult thing he's had to do, is get the power down on the restarts. Other than that, he's been racing nice and smooth. Matt going to watch the rebroadcast and say, oh my goodness. Matt gets a little bit loose and there's bumping and banging going on behind. Matt watching the rebroadcast of this saying, Soup, you get out here and try to drive the 00 machine like this. This is tough work. The bumping and banging continues in the back. And now the train starts to bunch up a little bit. Holloway now thinking that he can get underneath it. He's checked up a little bit, and that left room for Garrett to try to get underneath. Shanowski out in front, trying to hit his spots, being smooth. Covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. Nowhere for Mike Holloway to put that car. Look at this. Now it's a 6-car train. And I do believe that maybe Shanowski might be the cork in the bottle now. You got drivers back there. Kenny Kibbe, the caboose in the train. Look at this P2. There's a mistake from Holloway. Is he going to get a drive off of 4? He left the inside open. And like a confident encyclopedia salesman, J.J. Garrett stuck his foot in the door and said, would you like to buy some of my encyclopedias? Mike Holloway says, no thanks. Wait, but Garrett's still trying to force the issue. Holloway gets a drive off. Will he be able to close the door? He will not. This is the opportunity that J.J. Garrett has been looking for. He does not want to give it up. When opportunity knocks, you have to take it. Right now, it has knocked and left. JJ has chased it down the sidewalk and tackled opportunity, and he can't get the pass made. I think Holloway's going to be able to close the door now. And now that all that fighting, Brian Dean says, maybe I'll try to see what the top side works like on you, JJ. Kenny Kibbe in 6 is actually being now ran down by Mike Allen. The train continues to grow in length. Up there in front, it is still Matt Shanowski. He's got 29 laps to go. I like what Mike Holloway is doing. He is clearly faster. He's going to need to die. Oh, again, that was Shanowski into the wall. A little bit of a bumping and banging. Shanowski is really struggling now. Holloway knows it. He is pressuring Matt. And Holloway has to be careful because that number 11 is back there. He is hungry too. As is Brian Dean in the fourth position. Oh, there's a mistake from the 11. It's going to open the door on the outside. JJ Garrett says, turn on the reggae music. If you're going to pass me, you're going to have to do it high. Brian Dean says, I can do it. Brian Dean gets the pass made. He moves up into third. Garrett fighting back. The juggling Joker takes it in deep into corner number 3, into corner number 2. He's not going to be able to do it. Oh no, up in the wall is Dean. He loses it. This continues. He's on 2 wheels. I don't believe it's going to bring out the yellow. Now he's on his lid. It was going to stay green as long as the car was on 2 wheels, but when it was on no wheels, that's the iRacing stewards could not allow the racing to continue. Holy moly. Well, he got the pass made, but then he couldn't keep it. We can all catch our breath. John Holcomb now up to 4th position. That 69 car is good. Donnie Moore struggling back in 8th.
This will be a big chance for Donnie to maybe get a couple positions back, so that, because right now I think as it sits, Matt and him should be about tied for the points lead.
Every position very important in any bootleg racing league sanctioned event. The points are so tight. You don't get a lot more for finishing first than you do for finishing second. Very, very tight scoring. Matt Shanowski making the best of a bad situation. He finished 10th last round, and Dawson, here he is. He got the pole, and he's holding it.
Mike Holloway has filled up his mirror all night, and he's doing a great job here. We'll have to see how this restart handles. He's going to be on that high side, so if he can get a good jump, Matt might need to watch out.
Do you think this yellow flag, if Shanowski was if the tires were heating up and they were going away, obviously the less laps he has to race is the better, but do the tires come back to him, do you think, at all?
They might cool down a little bit, but I think if he ultimately has more worn tires than Holloway, then he might have troubles on this restart, and so it could work out in his favor. They're going to cool down a little bit, but I wonder if they're bad enough to where he can't get a good enough restart.
The wave around for Lowell Jewell. The lights are still on the pace car. They'll go off this time, and we'll go around one more time. We believe this should be it if they turn the lights off. And yes, they are off, so we're going to go racing. Okay, Sean Crackers Ambrose is not with us today, but I know what he would say right now. With only 19 laps to go, this would be when one of us would say, "What time is it, Crackers?" And he'd say, "It's time to boogie. Put on your dancing shoes and let's go racing." Pace car is in. They'll be working lap number 83. A great jump from the 00. Shanowski gets out there. Stuck on the top side is Holloway. The 11 car, JJ Garrett, trying to get underneath them. They get that sorted out. Oh my goodness, this 2x2 way in the back. Are they going to be able to keep this thing under green? So far, so good. Oh, in the wall is the 26 of Donnie Moore. He was trying to push up there. Look up front. Here he comes.
Noski surrenders the lead to Mike Holloway.
And he falls all the way back to third. Look at that as the 11 car gets underneath him as well. A new leader, Mike Holloway. We talked, you never know what you're going to get from Holloway. Right now, we got ourselves a leader. 16 laps of racing to go. Look at J.J. Garrett all over the back of Holloway. Man, he is pressuring Holloway like an ex-lover that's not happy about the prefix. How can I get around you? He tries to take it in very deep. He's going to get a great run this time. Will he dive it into one? No. Boy, you can tell that those two cars really had something. It was clearly Shinosky who was holding up. Shinosky has even lost third position now. He's fallen back to fourth. That Outlaw modified car had nothing left for Matt. Not the case for the front two guys. Mike Holloway doing his very best to be perfect. J.J. Garrett all over him, racing hard, looking for any way around. 12 laps to go. Is there anyone else we have to worry about? We know that John Holcomb is fast. He's worked his way up to third. Does he have enough time to get there? 11 to go. Holloway diving it into one, into two. He looks strong. Will Garrett give him a little bit of a help? Will Garrett try to persuade him to move? Look at the tight line Garrett can take out of 4. There's a lot of rubber left on those tires. Garrett now tries to go wide off of 2. He's got a pretty good run. Is he going to force it? Holloway weaving back and forth, protecting that inside line. They come across with 9 to go, Dawson.
John Holcomb coming into this picture now as we see these two racing out here in first and second.
Look at the run from Garrett. He's really good. I think the fastest car of the 3 is Holcomb, but it's going to be too little too late with only 8 laps remaining. The 11 might have to give him a little bit of a hello. But in this series, they frown upon that. Boy, the 11 really working hard. Jumping Jack J.J. Garrett all over the back of Mike Holloway. Six to go. We're getting to the point of no return now, where if a yellow comes out from one of the drivers farther back, it'll end the race. Everybody say a prayer that the guys racing for 12th don't do something silly. Look at the run that Garrett has right now. He's going to force it. A little bit of a tap on a Holloway. Garrett clearly faster. One more little bump. Pushing Holloway up a little higher. He's got to time that bump. He's got to bump him going into the corner. If you bump him on corner exit, all it does is push Holloway down the straightaway that much faster. He's got a good run. Here he comes. He dips a nose inside. Garrett's got it done. Can he make it stick? They bang. They bump. Holloway's into the wall. The pass is made. It's going to bring out the yellow. And we're going to give it to J.J. Garrett. That's short track racing in America. He had it underneath. Dawson, what do you think? Oh boy, he drifted up, didn't he?
He put it into that corner hard. He knew he only had a couple chances at it, and he was going to make it count. May have got in a little too hard if he watches the replay afterwards. But that's wow.
They come across now as we look at the replay. That's what my dad used to call white rabbit racing. I'm late to an important break, if you know your Lewis Carrolls. But be that as it may, we are on the white flag lap. We are working through corners 3 and 4. What an exciting race. Jamba Juice, the juggling joker, jumping Jack J.J. Garrett, wins round number 9 at Sobo. John Holcomb, Matt Shanowski, Kenny Kibbe, Stefan Alphonse round out your top 5. 10 cars all on the lead lap. In the Hamilton spot, Mike Allen. The racing is over here at South Boston Speedway, but our broadcast is far from done. What we're going to do is take a short break, but we will be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and then put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Christian Family Construction Outlaw Modified Series, powered by the Bootleg Racing League. This is round number 9 of 11 on the 2017 fall schedule, and it is in the books, and it was exciting. He gridded in 14th position. He worked his way all the way up to the field, finally getting the pass made for the lead, able to fend off John Holcomb. J.J. Garrett brings it home, picking up the win. We saw him, another hard charger. John Holcomb started 15th, comes home in second, and that's taking into account the crash that he had halfway through the race. Matt Shanowski led the early on, fell as far back to fourth, comes home in third. Our pre-race interview, Kenry Kibbe started third, coming home in fourth. Stefan Alphonse was racing up in second for much of the race. He's going to come home inside the top 5. Donnie Moore, your points leader, try as he might, he just couldn't get it going. He had to settle for 6th. Jeff Sharp in 7th. 8th and 9th go to Kurt Smith and Lowell Jewell. In the Hamilton position, looking to start on the pole next time, that's going to be Mike Allen. Dawson, are you able to look down there and get all the cars that finished not on the lead lap?
Yep, we can take care of that. Mike Holloway, just a heartbreaking way to end the race. He's going to be outside the top 10. He's going to finish 11th. Brian Dean, 12th. Dustin Powers, 13th. Charles Lahr, 14th. And then 15th and 16th. Two cars who didn't take a lap this race, John Hine and Lucas Stinziano.
Okay, let's go ahead. We got a couple drivers we can talk to. Let's go ahead and talk with our pole sitter, Matt Shanowski. He led for much of the race. Matt, did the car just go away from you?
Yeah, I was never that fast to begin with. I was fighting a loose condition, and eventually they just caught up to me. And on the one restart, I got a little bump, and that was all it took. I lost my momentum, and they got by me.
You fell back as far as fourth. You were able to salvage a podium spot. Good points day. When you're racing, you had to be thinking, gee, I got a chance of the win, but you knew you didn't have the car. Are you thinking points, though? Do you think big picture when you're racing, or you're just having fun, racing for the moment?
Being that I'm up in the points, yeah, it's hard to keep it out of your mind. I was really hoping to maximize my points today and get the win since I was on pole, but third's pretty good, too.
Well, congratulations. You put on a nice show. You did the best you can. We could tell that little by little you were going to be in trouble. Nice job on the restarts. It seemed like you had that down.
Yeah, that's I had that going for me, at least. As long as I could start on the pole, I felt like I could keep the lead. But hey, third place is pretty good too.
You got to take it. Yes, it's better than you had last time. It's better than 10th place. Yeah. All right, congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way. 2 more races to go.
All right, thanks, Soup.
Matt Shanowski, your third place finisher today. Let's go ahead and bring in the rookie that we talked about earlier in our broadcast, Kenny Kibbe. He had a good show. Dawson, you want to talk to Kenny?
Sure, Kenny, you started a little farther back, but you're able to make it up and get all the way to fourth. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I mean, it's better than what I expected. South Boston's not an easy place by no means, but I was able to survive and come away with the top 5. So yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it seemed like surviving was a big part of this race. You know, we saw a couple guys that get into trouble, and you were able to make it work through the entire race. Were you just being paid? Just kind of you were avoiding everything by luck?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tried to bide my time. I didn't want to force the issue, especially early on, and yeah, I kind of just pounced on everybody else's mishaps. Really, I didn't play a lot of offense during this race, but yeah, I was able to escape all the wrecks. I wasn't a part of any of them tonight, so that was good.
Kenny, it's Soup here. Did you ever have to start on the outside? I know you were in the odd position a lot of the time.
Yeah, I was on the outside a few times. I think it was about half and half as far as restarts on the inside and the outside. There were some guys that had absolutely no luck picking the inside line, but I'd say I was about half and half. The outside was very, very hard to run on.
Well, I know we also asked you another question early on. You thought that tires were going to be a problem. Was the tires? I know we saw Matt. He kind of struggled with them. How were you on tires?
They definitely were valuable. I think biding my time really did help me stay in the top 5 near the end, because I don't think I had the all-out speed that some other guys had, but I did try to preserve my tires. And I was all over Matt at the end there, but I didn't really want to force the issue with him being in the points and me not being. But yeah, tires were very valuable in this one.
Kenny, we'll get you out of here on 2 final questions. First of all, are we pronouncing your last name right? Is it Kibbe?
Yes, sir. That is right.
Then finally, I'll get you out on this one. Are you aware that Kibbe is a wonderful, like, raw lamb dish in the Middle East? Are you familiar with that?
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Spell a little different, but pronounce the same. Go ahead and Google it and grab yourself some raw kibbe there before your time on this planet is done. Hey, congratulations on the 4th place finish. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, you guys.
Kenny Kibbe, our Gotta love that. Gotta love that name. Our fourth place finisher today. That's going to do it for us here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But don't leave yet, because this is important as we thank everybody that makes this broadcast possible. Don't go away. There'll be a quiz at the end. Thanks, first of all, to everybody at the Bootleg Racing League and Christian Family Construction Services for allowing us to cover them. For more information about the BRL, find them on Facebook at, where are they? They are facebook.com/Bootleg Racing League and bootlegracingleague.com. Well, that'll work. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music that gives every GSRC broadcast that unique flavor and feel is thanks to, you know who, Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. For information about all GSRC events, go to globalsimracingchannel.com or find us on Twitter at Global Sim Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. We also have upcoming races for other series on screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Next week, December 9th, the Christian Family Construction Outlaw Modified Series goes to Lanier for the penultimate round on the Season 17 schedule. Good luck, and we hope you join us for that. Good news is, I believe Sean and Joe will be back, so you won't have to put up with the second string. Catch us starting at 9:15 Eastern Time on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing channel. Finally now, on behalf of my bootmate Dawson Brock, our director Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.